So we are diving deep into how to unlock our minds for success and happiness, really. And
Yeah.
we're using neurobusiness expert Marynês Pereira's happiness formula as our guide for this.
Right?
She's got over 40 years of experience working with, these high-performing professionals.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really jumped out at me was this idea of the reptilian brain, or as Pereira calls it, complexo R,
Oh, yeah.
and how it can sabotage our success.
It's such a powerful concept, and she's right.
Yeah.
It's not like there's this separate part of the brain. It's just this.
Right.
It's very much part of us, this primitive part of our brain that's responsible for,
Yeah.
our survival instincts, like fight, flight, or freeze.
Right.
And while it's obviously essential, like you said, for survival, in today's world, it can really clash with the kind of collaboration and creative problem solving
Right.
that we need for success.
Yeah. And Pereira in the article gives this example of leaders, people with like immense potential who get caught in these power struggles
Oh, absolutely.
because of this kind of like a need for control.
Right.
And it's almost as if like their reptilian brain is sabotaging them.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of working together
Yeah.
towards a common goal,
Rep-
they're driven by this fear, and that fear can lead to, a breakdown in teamwork and ultimately hinder success.
Yeah.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a lot of ways.
Okay, so that's kind of unsettling, but I'm guessing Pereira doesn't leave us hanging with like a doom and gloom scenario here, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
She actually offers some practical strategies based on neuroscience and quantum physics
Yeah.
to help us take control.
Quantum physics.
Okay.
So hold on.
Yeah.
This sounds a little intense. Are we talking about building particle accelerators in our living rooms here, or?
Not quite,
Okay.
but it is fascinating because quantum physics shows us that, everything is energy,
Yeah.
including our thoughts.
Right.
And so she suggests that we can actually shift our mental state and literally rewire our brains
Okay.
through things like meditation, breathing exercises, physical activity.
So we're talking about literally rewiring the physical structure of the brain through these activities. Okay, now I'm starting to see how quantum physics fits in here. It's like we're intentionally directing energy to create the changes we want to see.
Exactly. And there's real world evidence to back this up.
Yeah.
She talks about this tech executive
Yeah.
who, through regular meditation, was able to improve his focus significantly. And that led to better decision making, increased productivity. It's a great example of how these practices can actually help us create a state of mind
Right.
that optimizes performance.
This reminds me of this concept of neuroplasticity.
Yes.
Which is the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout our lives. So we're not stuck with the brain that we were born with. We can actually mold it
Right.
through our actions and thoughts. This is pretty cool.
Absolutely. And it's not just about how we think.
Right.
Pereira also really emphasizes emotional intelligence as a key factor in managing this reptilian brain.
Right. Yeah. I can see the connection there because, emotions, especially fear, kind of like fuel.
Oh, yeah.
That reptilian brain's impulsive reactions.
Absolutely.
So learning to manage those emotions must be pretty critical.
It's crucial when we understand our own emotions and can recognize them in others. We can avoid those knee-jerk reactions
Right.
and choose more thoughtful responses.
Yeah.
And in a work setting especially,
Right.
that can be the difference between conflict and collaboration.
Carrera talks about this project manager who struggled with conflict within her team. And it wasn't until she understood the emotions driving the conflict that she was actually able to respond effectively. And it improved the situation for everyone involved.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah.
It really highlights the power of reframing situations. Instead of seeing conflict as the threat,
Right.
She was able to shift her perspective
Right.
and see it as an opportunity for growth and understanding.
So it's like she short-circuited her reptilian brain's fear response.
Yes.
And chose a more constructive approach.
Exactly. She moved beyond reacting to consciously responding.
Right.
And that's where real change happens.
Yeah.
But that's not always easy, right?
Right,
We all
yeah.
have these ingrained patterns of behavior,
Yeah.
sometimes self-sabotaging ones, that can be really hard to break free from.
So how do we identify those patterns and start making those different choices? It sounds like it takes a lot of self-awareness.
It does, but Pereira really seems to believe that self-awareness is the first step towards conscious change. It's about recognizing those behaviors that are holding us back.
Right.
Maybe it's avoiding confrontation, maybe it's constantly seeking validation, whatever it is for you. And then making that deliberate effort to choose a different path.
So breaking free from that reptilian brain's grip.
Exactly.
But that takes some serious courage, right? To go against those like deeply ingrained instincts.
It does, but the rewards are worth it.
Yeah.
She shares a story about a salesman who was really crippled by insecurity. And once he recognized this pattern, he forced himself to adopt a more confident approach. And the result was a significant increase in sales.
Wow, so that's a pretty powerful example of how breaking a negative pattern can actually lead to tangible success. I mean, it makes you wonder, like, what would happen if we all embrace this kind of change, right? We could literally create a world where people are operating from a place of confidence and collaboration.
It's an inspiring thought, isn't it? That we're not victims of our biology.
Right.
That we can actually shape our destinies by understanding and retraining our minds.
And that brings us to the final point that Pereira really emphasizes, and that's persistence, right? I mean, it's one thing to understand these concepts, but putting them into practice and sticking with it. When that reptilian brain is, screaming at us to go back to our old ways, I mean, that's got to be the real challenge.
It is retraining our brains. It's not a one-time event. It's a continuous process.
Yeah.
And we're bound to face resistance, especially when things get tough.
Right.
But that's where discipline and a commitment to personal growth really come in.
So how do we maintain that commitment when the going gets tough?
Well, she offers another really powerful tool, gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah, it might sound a little cliche,
right?
But by focusing on the positive, even during challenges, we can really shift our mindset away from negativity and fear.
That's interesting. So it's almost like gratitude becomes a kind of like a mental shield against those reptilian brain impulses.
Exactly. And she illustrates this with a story of an entrepreneur who faced constant setbacks in her business.
Right.
And it was her daily gratitude practice that allowed her to stay motivated and eventually overcome those challenges.
Okay, so it's a great example of how gratitude isn't just, some feel-good concept. It's an actual practical tool for building resilience and achieving success.
Absolutely. And it ultimately circles back to choosing happiness and success as states of mind.
So we're not just chasing external achievements or waiting for happiness to just like find us. We're actively cultivating those feelings by shifting our internal state.
Precisely, and that's something that we can all benefit from.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the first part of Marynês Pereira's article. We've uncovered a lot from understanding the role of that reptilian brain to the power of these techniques like meditation and gratitude.
Right.
But I'm sure there's even more to unpack.
There is. And she doesn't just highlight the positive.
Yeah.
She also issues a warning about the potential dangers of negativity.
Oh, that sounds like a great place to pick up when we come back for part 2 of our deep dive.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. We often focus on like the upside of personal growth.
Right.
But Pereira doesn't shy away from like the downsides of negativity.
Yeah. So what kind of warnings does she issue? I mean, it sounds like it's more than just like, positive vibes only.
It is. She actually connects negativity and complaining to some pretty serious issues,
Oh, wow.
Including like potential health problems.
That makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, like chronic stress and negativity, that can't be good for the body.
Exactly. When we're constantly dwelling on, negativity, our bodies are in this perpetual state of stress.
Right.
And that can, weaken the immune system, disrupt sleep,
right,
even contribute to chronic illnesses.
So it's not just about feeling good.
Right.
It's about actually taking care of our physical and mental well-being. It sounds like Pereira is advocating for like a more holistic approach to success.
Absolutely. And it underscores the importance of cultivating that positive mindset.
Right.
It's not just about achieving those external goals. It's about living a healthier and more fulfilling life overall.
Okay, so how do we put all of this into practice? What does she like suggest we do with this knowledge?
She leaves us with a really powerful question.
Okay.
What specific step can you take today
Yeah.
to begin retraining your mind for greater success and happiness?
Oh, I love that. That's a call to action, right? It's
Yeah.
not enough to just understand these concepts. We have to actively apply them to our own lives.
Absolutely. And she doesn't prescribe a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
You know, she encourages each of us to find what works best for us.
So there's no magic formula or secret recipe for success.
Not exactly. It's about experimenting
Right.
with the tools and techniques she's shared. You know, the meditation, the gratitude, emotional intelligence, reframing situations, and figuring out what resonates with you personally.
Right. So it's like she's given us a map.
Yeah.
But we have to choose our own path.
Exactly.
Through the territory.
That's a great way to put it. It's a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is there's no one right way to do it.
Pereira's article has definitely sparked a lot of ideas for me. You know, I'm thinking about ways I can incorporate more like mindfulness into my day, especially during like those moments where my reptilian brain is like trying to take over.
Right. Me too. I'm also really fascinated by that connection between quantum physics and personal growth, like we talked about.
It's like we're literally rewiring our brains at an energetic level.
It is. It's a powerful concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
This idea that we're not limited by the brains we were born with. We have the power to change our minds, and by doing so, change our lives.
That's the key takeaway for me. It's like we're not just passengers on this journey called life. We're the drivers.
We are. Yeah.
We have the power to shape our own destinies.
It's empowering, but it can also be a little daunting. You know.
I know, right? It is. It's a lot of responsibility.
It is, but that responsibility comes with incredible potential.
So how do we even begin to tap into that potential? What's the first step?
She leaves us with that question. You know, what specific step can you take today to begin retraining your mind for greater success and happiness?
I love that it's a call to action. It's not enough to just listen and agree. We have to take that first step.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be anything, monumental.
Right.
It can be as simple as, committing to 5 minutes of meditation each morning or making a conscious effort to reframe a negative thought.
The key is to start somewhere and build that momentum. Those small, consistent actions can create remarkable transformation over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Pereira's work is a reminder that success and happiness, they're not destinations.
Right.
They're journeys.
Yeah.
And the most exciting journey of all is the journey of self-discovery.
Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of unpacking Marynês Pereira's happiness formula. We've explored her insights on the reptilian brain, the power of gratitude and discipline, the importance of taking action, and so much more.
We have. It's been a fascinating deep dive into the world of neurobusiness and the incredible potential that we all have to unlock our minds for success and happiness.
I agree. A huge thank you to Marynês Pereira for sharing her expertise in her article Destrave sua mente alcance sucesso, which is Unlock Your Mind, Achieve Success in English.
Yes, we encourage all our listeners to check out her work and continue exploring these ideas.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep unlocking that incredible power within yourselves.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you all.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of Pereira's happiness formula, the challenges of that reptilian brain, the power of gratitude and discipline.
Yeah.
What's her kind of final message here? What does she leave us with?
Well, she reminds us that all this knowledge, it's useless unless we actually apply it, take action.
Makes sense. It's easy to get caught up in the theory.
Oh yeah.
But real transformation happens when we actually put these ideas into practice in our daily lives.
Absolutely. And Pereira doesn't, prescribe a one-size-fits-all solution here.
Right.
She really encourages each of us to find what works best.
So there's no like magic formula.
Yeah.
Or secret recipe for success.
Not exactly. It's about experimenting.
Okay.
With those tools and techniques she shared, meditation, gratitude,
Right.
emotional intelligence, reframing situations,
Yeah.
and really figuring out what resonates with you personally.
So it's like she's given us a map,
Yeah.
but we have to choose our own path
It's exactly.
through the territory.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is there's no one right way to do it.
Absolutely.
Pereira's article has definitely sparked a lot of ideas for me. I'm thinking about ways that I can incorporate more mindfulness into my day, especially during those moments where my reptilian brain is trying to take over.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I'm fascinated by that connection between quantum physics and personal growth, like we were saying. It's like we're literally rewiring our brains at an energetic level.
It's a powerful concept, isn't it?
It is.
This idea that we're not limited by the brains we were born with.
Yeah.
We have the power to change our minds and by doing so change our lives.
That's the key takeaway for me, that we're not just passengers on this journey called life.
Right.
We're the drivers.
We are.
We have the power to shape our own destinies.
It's empowering, but it can also be kind of daunting,
I understand that. It is a lot of responsibility.
Right.
But that responsibility also comes with incredible potential.
So how do we even begin to tap into that potential? What's the first step?
She leaves us with that question,
Yeah.
What specific step can you take today to begin retraining your mind for greater success and happiness?
That's great. I love that it's a call to action. It's not enough to just listen and agree. We have to actually take that first step.
We do. And it doesn't have to be anything, monumental.
Right.
It could be as simple as committing to 5 minutes of meditation each morning, or making a conscious effort to reframe a negative thought.
Yeah, the key is to just start somewhere.
Right.
And build that momentum.
Yeah.
And those small, consistent actions can create remarkable transformation.
Absolutely.
Over time.
And Pereira's work is a reminder that success and happiness, they're not destinations.
Right.
They're journeys.
They are journeys.
And the most exciting journey of all is the journey of self-discovery.
I think we've done a pretty good job of unpacking Marynês Pereira's happiness formula.
Yeah, I think so.
We've explored her insights on the reptilian brain, the power of gratitude and discipline, the importance of taking action, and so much more.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating deep dive into the world of neurobusiness.
It has.
And the incredible potential we all have to unlock our minds for success and happiness.
A huge thank you to Marynês Pereira for sharing her expertise in her article, Destrave sua mente, alcance o sucesso, which is Unlock Your Mind, Achieve Success in English.
Yes, we encourage all of our listeners to check out her work and continue exploring these ideas.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep unlocking that incredible power within yourselves.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you all.